fighting, or we're using our live characters, our old characters?
Yeah, mechanically, you will be your normal characters. Thematically, how you appear, cosmetically, and all that is going to be different.
So I have more. I don't have 1 hit point because that's what.
Yes.
All right.
Everything to full, you said.
What's that?
Everything to full, you said.
Yeah. And
Are we
then
allowed to put our names up here yet, or does Brendan have to figure that out later?
As you guys get revealed,
all right,
put them up.
Good to know.
And then also, I'm gonna send everybody except Brendan a quick email.
Don't feel too left out, Brendan.
Oh, this is all about you, buddy.
I'm really worried.
We all have a part to play in your story. It's my love.
All right, send.
Oh yeah, hey, Dustin.
Yeah.
Not next week, but the week after. So 22nd, 23rd. Well, just the 22nd. I'll be in Chicago on the night of the 22nd. Could I stay at your place? One night?
Yep. That should be good.
Maybe Hawk, if you want to come out and you can go meet up at a bar, get dinner or something.
One night and one night only. I'd be up for meeting up after rugby practice.
Okay.
But I need to get into it, and I'm gonna start next week after this exam on Saturday.
All right.
Okay, so let's get started. Normally I ask you guys for a recap, but I think this time I'll just go over it real quick. So I have some things written up for it. I had, but now we're suddenly lost. There it is. All right. So, previously on McCormick's Folly, so the group was fighting the vicious, hungry Carnathi bullet after it tore up the caravan that you were all riding in. As Peitri was fighting it, he was caught in the creature's jaws and flung around like a rag doll. Only thanks to Kolmar's quick thinking of using his grease spell was he able to escape, being flung at least a dozen feet away from the creature and landing with a hard thud. His armor ripped to shreds, leaving sharp, jagged punctures throughout from the teeth, and with Peitri bleeding profusely from his wounds, he looked at the group, he looked at the Carnathi bullet, and he took off, unable to control the fear that overwhelmed him. As he did that, a forest sprang up from the ground immediately in his surroundings, and suddenly he was transformed to a different land. And that is where Peitri's story separates from the rest of the group. As Peitri looked around, he realized that he was no longer in a grassy plain. He slowed and entered a magnificent clearing surrounded by woods, the sky, the grass, the leaves, all vibrantly colored with sunshine protruding from white fluffy columns in the sky. The air smelling sweet of flowers and honey and a gentle breeze. That's when he realized that his armor was once again whole and his wounds had been healed. Peitri looked back to turn to his friends and the raging Carnathi bullet, but all he saw was an expanse of endless woods behind him. He listened for the sounds of battle, but only heard gentle sound of wind as it rustled through the leaves and branches. And all around, Peitri noticed woodland creatures flitting about to and fro, unconcerned with his presence. As he began to examine his surroundings more closely, many of the trees surrounding the clearing almost seemed to have faces, knobs and hollows aligning with the lines of bark to create the illusions of the faces of men. Softly, Peitri muttered to himself, "Peitri is confused." As he approached a tree and sat against it to ponder what had happened, it began to shake. Peitri turned around and saw that the tree was very much alive, and they had a conversation. Peitri wondering where he was and how a tree could talk, and the tree just bumbling about on how he was a stupid mortal and should leave his presence. But eventually, the tree, the gifter tree, took a moment and told him about the king's manor in the distance, and he pointed out a path that he could follow through the forest. Peitri, taking the opportunity to try and get bearings on where he is and to perhaps find a trustworthy soul that might be able to help him, sought out the path and left the tree. As he crossed the boundary from the clearing into the wooded path, the light suddenly dipped into shade. The wind picked up and left a chill deep within Peitri's chest. The air was sharp and brisk, leaving a slight trace of rot in Peitri's nostrils. The young cleric turned and saw a wall of vines and branches close, blocking Peitri from re-entering the clearing. A moment later, it seemed as if the path could extend back and forth. No evidence of this barrier at all, just endless expanse of dark woods. Peitri could hear the barking caw of a crow and saw it flapping its flapping shadow as it landed upon a nearby tree branch, staring at Peitri. There was a definite sense of dread in Peitri, replaced by the comfort that he felt in the clearing. And he whispered to himself, "I must be dreaming," as he began to walk forward on the path. And then as Peitri walked through the forest, surprised by the landscape, he gets a sudden realization of fear. He thinks he may be dead. And if he can escape, maybe he'll wake up. So he decides to run full force into the nearest tree, obviously using his charger feet. He hit the tree hard, causing his body, and especially his poor head, to ring like a bell. He doesn't even remember falling, but he finds himself on the ground, his mind groggy and the world blurry and seeming to spin. Vaguely, he thinks he hears birds caw and fly, perhaps startled by the sudden crash of armor against the bark. Or perhaps Peitri was able to rattle the branches of the tree he hit enough to startle to the voyeuristic birds. But then there was a new sound in the distance. One seemed like a man, perhaps crying out for help. It is enough to sober Peitri, and through his force of will, he makes himself refocus. He gets to his feet and he listens, darting to and fro, looking intently through the thick forest of trees, their leafless winter branches. Was it always so cold? Was there always snow on the ground and covering the trees? Peitri couldn't remember, but then he hears the cry again and confirms that someone is indeed in need. Peitri zeroes in the direction, but cannot see anyone through the branches and snow. Peitri whispers to himself, "I know I'm not dead now." Brushing the hair out of his face, he runs towards the voice, charging through the landscape, and Peitri nearly tripping upon the roots coming up from the ground. Eventually, he comes to another clearing. This one, there's a male figure, clearly on the ground, crying out for help. His arms in front of him in a defensive posture as 3 bandits with their weapons drawn begin to zero in on this lone and helpless figure. And that is where our story begins. And so Peitri is now there, as well as Dustin's character.
Oh, help! You scoundrels! How dare you attack an old man, unarmed as I am?
We don't care about that. Just give us your money.
What money do I have? Look at me, I'm dressed in rags.
Perhaps we could just use his meat to get us through this endless winter. That's not a bad idea.
Look at this meat. There's nothing here. It's skin and bones. Skin and bones, I swear.
Shut up, old man. That skin and bones is going to be ours soon. You won't need to worry about it much longer anyways.
You are the worst thieves. I've never heard of thieves concerned about skin and bones.
Well, we're a new brand. And they raise their swords, getting ready to attack.
And I just, I cower.
All right.
And,
Peitri.
powers a guiding bolt in their direction. And fires it away, hopefully.
Are you firing it at one of them, or are you firing
Yeah,
it
one of
as
them.
like warning shot?
No, I'm firing at them.
All right. Which one are you firing at?
The one which said they were gonna eat him.
Okay. That's probably the one closest to you then.
Yep.
All right, so give me an attack roll and then roll initiative.
Mike, I sent you an email.
Okay.
23 to hit.
That's a hit.
Okay. How much? Yeah, I did a first level thing on it, so it's just 4d6. Ah. 16 damage. Yeah, we'll make it. Just make it divine, or whatever it is, radiant.
You're a little quiet.
Oh, it's the new mic, I think. If I like speak quietly, it doesn't work.
Okay, so you hit the bandit nearest to you. How much damage?
16 radiant. Oh, yeah, radiant, isn't it?
I believe so. All right, so that one cries out in shock as his arm, his left arm, which is the one nearest to you, is struck by the bolt, and it goes numb, hanging limply. And he looks over, raising his sword, and saying, "Look over there! Get him!" And the bandits begin to take up position to attack you, Peitri. And so now,
14 initiative.
all right, so yeah, and then Dustin, what'd you get for initiative?
Oh. Natural 1.
What is that total for you?
That's 1.
That's a 1?
Yeah.
You don't have a dex bonus?
Nope.
Wow. So you actually lost to the bandits that rolled a 2.
It's off to a great start.
Yep. All right, Peitri, go ahead.
Okay. So the one guy who's closest to me, his arm's limp.
Yeah, his left arm is limp,
Right.
but he's really angry. You can see a bit of fright in his eyes, though. He was not expecting you, and he's hoping that him and his companions can overwhelm you quickly.
I sword and shield and Just yell, "Leave that old man alone!" as I charge at him.
You go to pull your sword from its hilt, but you find it's missing.
Oh shit! I pull my dagger out in replacement. Like, oh shit! Oh, and I pull out my pathetic-looking dagger, which isn't as nearly as shiny as my longsword or any of my armor. I just continue to charge at him.
And that's the dagger that you won from Sigil, isn't it?
Yes.
All right. So you run towards them. So they're definitely within 30 feet. Which one are you attacking?
The one with the limp arm.
All right. So, give me your attack roll.
Am I proficient in daggers? I'm guessing so.
Yeah.
So 21.
Okay, that's a hit.
So D4 plus charger feet, so it's a 6. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
you're using your charger feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's 5 damage, 5 piercing.
All right, so you're using your bonus action to dash to use the charger feet. So
Yeah.
and then you get a +6 to your damage.
Oh,
right?
cool. So then it's 7 because I rolled a 1 on the D4.
Okay. So the bandit goes to raise his club over his head to hit you, but you duck in quickly, and with your speed and the force of your blow, you find the opportunity, you strike him right under his armpit as his arm is raised, immediately causing him to fall back in pain and double over. He is now on the ground, crawling backwards, trying to get away from you.
I just say, "Give up, and I will not end your friend's life."
Oh, we don't scare that easy. We're gonna take the armor off of you and make a good amount of coin, aren't we, boys? Oh yeah, that's right. And then with that, the apparent leader goes in to attack, as does the third one. And because they're using this coordinated attack strategy to kind of confuse you, they're going to be getting advantage on their attack rolls. So the leader is using what appears to be a mace, and actually it seems to steam in the air a bit, and he goes to bring it down on you. 15. I'm guessing that probably doesn't hit.
No.
So you're able to block that with your shield. And then the other one, he is actually dual wielding a couple of swords. So with his first attack, 19.
That's the number.
Okay. So he deals 9 damage to you.
Whew.
And then he's going to take his next attack. But although you're surprised by the viciousness of the strike, you're able to duck under the second attack. And then Dustin, it's your turn if you wanted to do anything.
I'm still on the ground. Are there any bandits within like grasping distance?
No. They're probably the nearest one is probably about 10 feet away from you, and that's the leader. His back is to you, though.
I'm gonna shoot a from the ground. I'm just gonna like go and then like shoot a chromatic bolt.
Okay.
So 24.
It's a hit.
And it is 11 damage of fire. 11 fire damage.
All right, so a flare of heat erupts on the bandit leader's back, causing him to pushing him forward a bit, and he turns and looks at the old man, or I don't know if he's old, but he looks at the cowering figure and says, "Oh, you've just made an enemy, man. Just wait. Once we deal with this guy, we're going to skin you alive." And then, top of the round, Peitri, you're up.
And then while he's distracted talking to the old man, I try to stab him in the side of the face with my dagger. And I get a 18.
That's a hit.
Alright. But my pathetic D4 damage will most likely miss his face and only get 3 damage.
Yeah, so it barely nicks his armor.
Then I cast my spiritual weapon, and this giant silver sword appears behind me, and then stabs him. So let me see. Do I have to roll to attack that one?
Stabs him from behind you?
Yeah, it like sort of just it like appears above me and then goes zik.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna roll to hit that. I think that's only a 12.
So it misses.
Damn.
So the third bandit is saying, "Boss, you never said anything about any kind of magic users. We're in over our heads." And he's like, "Shut up! We're doing this. Get him!" And then he makes a lunge with his mace. Which is going to miss. But then he's using a bonus action. He raises his hand up, and there's like a force that erupts from his hand. So give me an athletics or acrobatics check.
Yeah. I'll do athletics, but that's 8.
All right. So it knocks you back 10 feet, causing you to land on your back, prone. And through that movement, it also, the other one was prepared for it and uses his reaction to take an attack of opportunity against you with one of his swords. Fortunately for you, he misses. But now you are on your back, and they crowd over you, pushing their assault. Meanwhile, you hear from the first bandit that you struck with your guiding bolt and put a blade into his armpit. He says, "Guys, I'm getting cold." And then the third one is going to use his action. After seeing his leader knock you back on your ass like that, he gets a wave of confidence that flows through him, and then he makes his attacks. So first is a 19, second one misses. So that's going to be 13 damage.
Splat.
And then Dustin.
I'm going to get up. Use my action to get up. I don't know if that's a bonus action or if it's a full action because I'm just kind of prone.
That's just half your movement.
Okay, so I'm gonna get up and take a couple steps back, and I'm going to shoot another chromatic bolt at the nearest bandit.
Okay.
It's a 23.
That hits.
And that's a 14 damage of lightning. So I get up on my feet. I take a couple steps back and kind of shoot a lightning bolt, almost Palpatine style.
You see him like jerk, and his muscles lock up. And in response to that, once the pain settles down in his body, you see him pull some kind of metallic object from his belt, and he tosses it at you. But it doesn't land its mark. All right, Peitri, you're up.
So the lightning bolt he shot was one of the two people which chased me, or was that the guy who was on the ground, or was on?
No, one of the two people that chase you.
Okay. Okay. So the one which just threw that thing on me right now, like, did he just turn around and throw that?
Yeah.
Oh, he is. Okay.
Well, he just did a quick turn to throw it, and his attention is back on you.
Yeah, and then the spirit blade or whatever goes down to whack him one.
All right.
And that's a 18.
That hits.
What's this stupid? There we go. That's 9 points of radiant damage.
Wait, with your spiritual weapon?
Yeah, it's
Is it force?
1d8 plus. Oh yeah,
That was-
force. Sorry, my mistake.
yeah.
My mistake.
Okay, so that guy who dies, go ahead and describe it.
So he throws that object, and then looks back at me. But when he does, the spiritual weapon comes like from behind him and just stabs him in the chest, and he just kneels and falls down, pretty much in front of me.
And then with that, the third one is like, fuck this, man. I didn't sign up for this shit. And he runs away, and as he does, you can get an attack of opportunity if you want.
Nah, I'll let him go.
All right. So then he grabs his companion and starts to try and drag him. But after a couple of feet, the guy is just too limp to move. And he's like, fuck it. And he tosses him and leaves him and runs into the forest. And you see the guy that he tossed kind of wheezing. A pool of blood forming underneath him.
Yeah, I go over to I guess administer some basic first aid, so he doesn't die instantly.
Okay, give me a medicine check.
Oh, why did I roll in that 20 on basic medical check?
All right, so you perform like miraculous like field medic surgery.
It's like the best first aid I've ever seen.
Yeah, you have like this brilliant idea of combining a couple of reagents, and it creates this foam that you put right directly into the wound, that then coagulates it instantly and allows his and stops the bleeding.
And then I look over at the old man. I say, who are you?
Oh, I thank you so much for saving me. I would have surely been a goner had you not been here. My name is Geirald, and it seems I've been caught off guard, and I'm a little out of sorts. Who may I thank for saving my precious life?
Well, I am Peitri, Silverleaf, and I'm a hero, but I don't know where I am.
I dare say you're a hero. You're the best hero I've ever seen. You are in Thelanis.
And how long? Where? How do we get out of Thelanis?
Leave Thelanis?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Oh no. Are we dead? Is this some sort of limbo?
Well, I would have been dead had you not arrived. But no, I still feel alive. It hurts. My bones hurt.
All right, Geirald. What of this king? Where is this king, and who is he?
King. Why would you want to see the king?
I want to leave this place, and some tree told me that I should talk with the king.
You don't want to talk to the king.
Oh.
The king is a usurper. You see, I was almost king once. And I had the love of my life taken from me thanks to his shenanigans. I was cast out, and here I am, doomed to wander this forest.
Don't you want your throne back?
Well, I'm trying. I have a plan. However, being in my weakened state where I can't even fend off 3 bandits has not been too helpful. Would you be interested in helping me?
Well, if you're interested in me in leaving, I would be very helpful for your resurping. Is that what it's called?
Well, the queen does have many vast jewels and a large library. I am more than sure that there could be something we could find. But it's not like the queen or the king to just let strangers come in and use their personal libraries. However, If I were king, you could have as much free access as you'd like. Hell, you could live in the library. That would be great. You saved my life. You're my hero.
What kind of king are you?
A very grateful one. One who will always pay his debts.
And king, what shall we do with this man? And I point at the now miraculously saved bandit.
Well, I would question him and see how he's been getting along out here and where he came from. Perhaps he has a better way back to town than I do. It's been some time. I only have this map, and I pull out a map with vague scribbles along it. But this will only get us to the warlock's house. Beyond that, I'm afraid my sense of direction is pretty lost.
There's a warlock here?
There is. I must needs speak with him myself. In fact, you probably should come along. You see, this warlock has a tool that we could use to that it can be used to help take my throne back. It's a very sharp tool, much like the one you're holding.
Oh, is it a sword? I like swords.
Well, I've never been a fan of swords. I prefer tools.
Right. Is that what you call swords here?
Well, that's what I call swords. So, I was actually on my way to the warlock's house when I got beset by these damn bandits. Perhaps you can accompany me.
Yes, and we shall bring this bandit along.
Yes. Clearly his sense of directions is slightly better than mine. Hopefully. Otherwise, we're really screwed.
You're a confusing old man, but I understand age does that to some. Now, let us go.
Age
what's
or
that?
age or youth, both are confusing times. So I kind of start like hobbling forward, and I
What does Geirald look like?
Geirald has tan skin. It's weathered, pretty saggy at the joints. He's wearing a chewed up brown, or rather a tattered brown knapsack, like a potato sack. It looks a little like it's not a potato sack, but that's kind of the overall. It's a very drab appearance. His hair is greasy. But he has a piercing gaze, and you know, you can tell that when you look at him that there's something else about him, kind of like Odysseus when Odysseus is dressed as a beggar. And he's walking with sandals on. These tree roots really hurt. Really hurt my feet. You know, I'm not young anymore.
It is quite cold out here as well. You should probably wear socks with them sandals.
You know, that's not a bad idea. If only I had a pair of socks.
Yes, maybe the warlock has some. We can ask him.
Enchanted wool socks. That sounds lovely. So can you read this map? I think I was here, but now I'm not sure where I'm at. I think we keep going straight past the Whispering Winds and through the Hollow of Despair, and that's where I think the warlock is. But you see, there's a lot of despair out here, so I think I got lost at the last 2 or 3 crags of despair.
There's more crags of despair. Wow.
Yeah, that's what I felt when I reached them. Well,
okay, bandits. I do not have your name, bandits. What shall we call you?
What?
You're with us now, bandit. We need someone to direct us, and then we can let you free. Just take us to the right place, please.
Wait. Am I dead?
No,
What happened?
I saved your life somehow.
but you'll wish you were dead if you don't cooperate.
What is it you want from me?
You see, Sonny, we're lost. And, you know, we're looking for the warlock's house. Are you familiar with the warlock?
I don't know what you're talking about, old man. I don't recall any warlock.
You damn youngsters are so uneducated. You're dropping out of your schools and mischief and you're lollygagging. Well, tell me, have you seen the Hollows of Despair? Do you know where those are at?
Yeah, me and my bros, we made a camp up there not too long ago.
Oh, we're talking.
Just over that way.
Can I tell which way he's pointing? Or
Yeah.
would you mind tagging along with us to where your camp was?
I can barely feel my legs. I'm not feeling very good.
Well, I don't want to leave you out here in the cold, sir.
I don't think I can move right now. Please help me.
Did life-saving surgery, sir. There's much more I can do.
Do we still have the items that we had as our previous characters, or just the features? And like the spells?
If you're thinking of the item I'm thinking of, you have that one. Or you have something like it.
Okay. Geirald pulls out a craggy stick He's like, hold still. This is gonna make you feel better. And he gives him a good whack on the side of the head. He's gonna use. I'm gonna roll 2 hit dice to restore this guy's health. Oh wow, 2 1s. So 6 health.
Okay. Well, it's good enough to magically restore some of his blood volume. And although you whacked him pretty good and left a bump on his head, he's also simultaneously going down. And he's like, man, what's... Oh, I feel better now. I even think I can walk now. Thank you. And then he gets up and he kind of brushes himself off.
Wow, that's a cool stick.
Yeah, you know, I had this back in my adventuring days. Came in very useful. I'm not much of a healer, but with this, I can at least do something.
All right, well, let's go, Rogue Man. What's your name, Rogue? I mean, Bandit.
Tim.
Oh, bring me Tim.
And look, mister, I'm real sorry for holding you up and threatening to eat you. Just been so hungry out here.
I mean, I feel like I can understand that. You know, I've had the munchies before, and I'll have the munchies again. I know what it's like to be hungry and craving older women anyway.
Right. So anyways, the crags are over this way.
Great. Peitri, my hero, why don't you take the lead? After all, we need somebody brave at the front.
Yes, we must find this warlock. Grab this tool. Alright, and we journey off.
Alright, so as you guys move along, it seems that where you're headed also coincides with a path within the forest. And as you travel along this path, the snow seems to pile up thicker and thicker, and it really starts to cause your feet to grow cold and your toes to go numb. But it seems that the trees in the direction that you're going seem to create almost like a wall on either side that directs you in ways to go, almost as if the forest itself is trying to guide you where it is that your heart desires. As you go, you get a glimpse of what you assume must be the Whispering Winds, although they're not as impressive as they seemed, as it's only a small section of woods where the winds seem to go, ooh, and that just kind of repeats every couple of minutes. And then you come across the Crags of Despair, and what it is are areas where the forest is cleared, and you see what seem to be these dark owls perched on the edge of these crater-like formations, and they are whispering, Despair. Despair. So it's clear where the Crags of Despair got their name. And then eventually come to a place where it seems that the snow and ice recede, and some, like, within the trees, you can see an oak door covered in vines with birds perching and butterflies and what appear to be ornate runes carved into the wood. Although as you look beyond the door, it doesn't seem to actually lead anywhere.
Interesting. Am I able to read these runes?
Not my call.
I mean, can I tell what language they're in? If they're in a language?
You can always roll.
That's a 10 for Arcana check. To see if I can read what these runes say.
Yeah.
No. All right. Well, Peitri, what do you make of this?
Well, I know languages, but I cannot read magical languages. So, what about you, Bandit? Timmy?
Dustin, you got an email.
I see it.
And meanwhile, Tim says, I don't know, man. This is strange to me. I don't have a good feeling here.
Ah, yes. I think I read this once. It says, come inside.
Ah,
Yes, that is what we must do.
alright. Tim, you can go first.
Look, I'm happy you guys saved me, but I don't want to open that door. I got a bad feeling.
Why did the youth of today become such cowards?
Yeah, and I say the same thing, and then my persuasive skills to make him want to open the door.
Wait, so you're using a persuasion check, Peitri?
Yeah. And that's a 22.
All right, so what is it that you say to try and persuade him?
Say, don't be a coward. Just open the door.
Don't
Save
call
your
me a
life.
coward. We are about to eat that guy. And he points at you. He's like, call me a coward. I'll show you. And then he opens the door.
Oh, cool. So what's in there, Tim?
Well, as soon as he opens the door, he gets hit with a staff on the head.
So he's like, ow, what was that? And he's looking around.
And then he hits him again.
Ow! All right. And he gets away from the door. You guys go in.
And the door closes. You can hear it lock.
Who's in there? Why
Nobody's
Nobody's
here. Nobody's here. The warlock's not here. He doesn't live here. Go away. Can't you read the runes? It says go away.
Oh.
That's what it says.
No, it says come inside. Aren't you starving for some company?
You hear the door unlock and the door opens. And this old dwarf with a long, long beard all the way to the ground. And he's wearing a cloak that it is like a blue color, but it's not. It looks like it's been put together real poorly. And he steps out and he looks at the runes and says, "It says go away. Don't you read?"
Well,
who are you three?
My eyes have dimmed in my old age, or maybe I have a more positive disposition on life. One or the other.
Old age. You look young to me. What do you three want?
I'm looking for your help.
Not getting it. What do you want?
Oh.
Do you know the king by any chance?
Did the king send you? Quick! And he opens the door. Get inside!
I like hobble in.
He gets you guys inside the door. He closes it and locks it. Did the king send you?
What is the king to you?
And you can see him back up, and there is a table behind him. And he is slowly pushing what looks to be like fruits and vegetables off the table. I don't know nothing about them. It's all fair game in that garden. All fair game.
You're wasting some perfectly good cucumbers.
No, I don't have any.
That was a great harvest this year, and you just put them on the floor.
They're still good. You, the laughing one, what do you want? Did the king send you?
No, man. I don't know anything about any king.
You're a liar. What about you?
There's no king. I'm looking for the king though.
You're not going to find him here.
I've been looking for you, and actually, this my friend Peitri here. Let me preface this by saying he's a daring hero, and he saved me. I nearly lost my life to 3 bandits, and one of these included. And I like look at I kind of give like a sideways glance to the.
And he just kind of shrugs and says, "Look, we were hungry. It's tough out there."
Is Tim a human?
Yeah.
Okay.
And well, I was on my way here with my map, and I handed him my map, the crudely drawn, nonsensical map, to try to find his place. You see, I've heard tell, and I've been searching for probably a couple months. I hear that you have a tool, a powerful tool.
Continue.
Well, this one kind of looks like the blade that our hero Peitri is holding. I hear it's very powerful, and I need its help. You see, the king is not who you think he is. Girl, get out of here.
Don't hurt my wildlife.
The king has stolen my wife. And he took the throne. And I'm hoping this tool can help me take it back and restore things to the way they rightfully should be.
It appears you have at least one problem. I'm not sure which one it is.
I have 99 problems, and the king is one of them.
So this old dwarf points to his desk, and on it is a large stone, and there looks to be a short sword sticking out of it. A sword like this?
Ah, that looks like the fabled tool.
Can your hero pull it out of the stone?
Oh, I'm sure he can. Peitri, why don't you give it a good tug?
Yeah, Tim, give it a good tug.
Well, I don't know what you guys are all into. But I'm not tugging on any hilt.
Are you a coward?
Look,
You
man,
scared of a little hilt?
I just want to go back to hunting for food and trying to get money out of people that I happen to pass by. That's all I want to do. So,
There's cucumbers on the floor. You can eat them.
I mean, I would ask permission first. Those look like some mighty fine cucumbers.
he does. He looks at the food and he licks his lips, and says, "Well, could I have some of that?"
You can have some food once. Your friend here removes the sword from the stone.
Well, you heard him. Get the sword.
Yeah, I am a strong young lad, and I pull my sleeves up, revealing my weedy muscles, and I walk over to the sword and attempt to remove it.
Are you giving it a tug?
However many tugs it needs.
What about a little rub first to polish it?
I'd give it a little.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. It comes out easy.
Oh.
He walks over and may I see that?
Yes.
And he takes it in his hand and picks up the vegetables and stuff that had fallen on the floor, and he puts them on the table and he starts chopping them up. Ah, finally. Had it stuck in there, couldn't get it out. Well done.
Oh. I'm a kitchen hero. Okay.
And he starts to pass. He gets some plates out, and they're made of like stone. And he starts to put the food out for you guys. So, what is it you seek? This tool. What does this tool do?
I just hear that I'm not rightly sure what it does. All I know is that with it, it has the power to banish the king, which I can use then, hopefully, to reclaim my throne and get my wife back.
And oh,
You see, I almost had her hand in marriage, and then he stole her away along with the kingdom.
Sounds like one of those two things is a problem. Yes.
Yes. I have no wife and I have no kingdom.
A man without a kingdom, much very troublesome. Well,
So, do you happen to have this tool laying around? This weapon?
only one worthy enough can possess such a weapon. Or a tool.
Well, there is none more worthy than the king, of course.
He is not worthy. And he walks over to a shelf full of books and pulls out this tome and drops it on the counter. This is the tome. This will let me know if who is worthy to possess such a weapon, such a tool. And he starts flipping through the pages, and as he flips through the pages, like a butterfly flies out, and like other little flies with spectacle wings fly out. What is your name again? Hero?
I am Peitri, the one who pulled the sword out of the stone.
Yes. No. There's a pie try here. Nope, no Petri, sorry.
Hi, guy. What? That sounds like me.
I could have read that wrong. Let me check. It could be Petri. Why don't I give you the scabbard? And he shuffles over to and opens a drawer and pulls out this piece of leather. It's a scabbard. It's again kind of looks like his cloak. It's like it's handcrafted, but looks terrible. It's like falling apart. Wear this.
But
We will find you that tool.
it doesn't really suit my attire.
What do you mean?
Of
That's
course
a
it does.
spirit of a hero.
Well, I guess so.
Through a full mouth. Yeah, it's very fetching. As he just shovels more food into his mouth. By the way, thanks. This is great.
Well, I put the scabbard on and try to hide it underneath my clothes so it's not visible.
I can't see it. Where'd it go?
It's there. Don't worry.
That's what she said.
The scabbard is great, but where is the sword that lives in the scabbard?
It is not here.
Oh. Is it far?
No. I put it somewhere for safekeeping.
Well, how long will it take to get there?
Not long.
I like your evasive answers. You know, it's very comforting for somebody who's traveled 2 or 3 months to come find you.
I traveled from another world.
Another world? There's only one world.
Oh.
Well, I guess we shall find your tool.
Well, since you probably know where it is, would you mind leading the way?
I'm an old man. I'm not leading the way.
I mean, sounds like we got 2 old men here.
You're young compared to me.
All right. Well, why don't you? You know the way. Let's go there. Peitri, take front. We need somebody brave in front.
All right, Tim, your food is over. We have to go again. Food time, lunch is over.
So he grabs a couple more things and puts them in a pack, and he's like, "Actually, do you guys still need me? I have a brother who abandoned me that I need to go and kill."
No, we'll deal with him later. You're still with us.
Okay.
Might be the hero, Tim. We don't know yet.
Tim, your anger troubles me.
Well, you know, my brother just left me to die. I'd say I have a right to my anger.
It'll be your undoing.
I don't know about that. Maybe his undoing.
Oh well. So he grabs another cloak, which seems like way too much for the current weather conditions. Again, it's ragged, like it's just half put together. And then you can see his hands start to shimmer with magic, and he has this looks like almost like the substance of honey on his hands, and he's like, before we travel, I must do this, and he starts to put this stuff in his beard, and then he reaches over to Geirald, who I'm sure does not have a hat on,
Nope.
with his hand, and wipes this all through his hair.
Oh, it's so sticky.
Yes, it's tree sap. It's a great preserver. The spirit of the firth give me. I share it with all.
Well, thank you, wise one. I feel enlightened.
Tim, would you like some?
This has been a pretty weird experience, so yeah, why not? Let's just go with it.
Okay. And he wipes some in your hair.
I
Peitri,
imagine you were asking Tim with that you because you were kind of smiling, like just like a slight smirk. So I imagine that like your character was actually smirking too. You want some sap, don't you?
Oh, he wants the sap.
Peitri,
I don't think I'm very interested in tree stuff. I've seen it before. It's not very useful. Other than getting your hair sticky by the looks of it.
the spirit of the firth giveth.
But why are there trees with the saying despair over and over again? See that?
Oh, those were owls.
Oh, the owl. Did you train them birds to say despair, Warlock?
Yes. They're doing a very poor job.
Yeah.
You're at my door.
So where are we going? And what is your name, Warlock, other than Warlock?
My name is Ra-m-loK.
And are
Ra-m-loK?
you the Warlock? Someone else.
What was your question? I missed it.
Oh, are you the Warlock or is someone else?
No one else I know of. There's only one warlock, and that is me.
let's go.
We shall.
Yeah,
Alright, so
find the tool.
Ra-m-loK, where is it that you're leading Tim, Geirald, and Peitri?
He sort of points in a very vague direction and tells Peitri just to go that way. He doesn't seem to be paying attention.
Okay.
He is more observant of the trees and the flowers and any birds that come through.
Okay.
If you didn't know better, it was sort of like aimless wandering at this point.
Are you sure you're directing us in the right direction, Ra-m-loK? This doesn't seem right.
You must trust in the spirit of the Firth, Peitri. It will guide us.
Have you been eating the tree sap, Ra-m-loK?
I've been known to taste a bit.
Okay. Be a little bit crazy. Alright, let's continue. Walking mindlessly. Have we come to any sort of destination?
You're just kind of going, you know, through these different wooded areas. It looks very much the same. I wouldn't say you're going in circles, but I mean the scenery isn't changing much.
Oh.
So Tim whispers to the rest of everyone trying to keep out of earshot of Ra-m-loK. Why are we doing this again? This guy, I mean, he fed us and everything, but he just seems like a crazy old man. No offense, Geirald.
He's older than you and I both put together. You know what that means? It means he's got wisdom under his feet. He knows things. Sometimes you just have to trust.
Then you hear Ra-m-loK looks over at you, Geirald. No problem. If you need to whiz any tree.
Oh, great. I'm okay for now, but give me a few more minutes and I'll be there.
I feel like we're in Lord of the Rings where we're just walking.
It feels like I'm doing a day visit at the fucking retirement home. Okay. All right, Tim. Do you have any idea where some sort of weapon would be?
I mean, what kind of weapon? What do you? Are we trying to get to a blacksmith? Is that what you're doing? You're trying to get to a blacksmith?
Possibly. Do they make tools here?
I think Peitri, Ra-m-loK will show us the way. Ra-m-loK, are you sure we're in the right direction? I'm starting to get arthritis in my old kneecaps. They can't go as far as they used to.
Just wipe some of the tree sap on it, you'll be fine.
So I rub my head and get like a handful of tree sap, and I rub it on my knee. Wow, it actually does feel much better.
Tim just kind of looks sideways at Peitri. Like, really? Is this the company we're keeping right now?
Oh man, I don't know what's going on here.
Mike, do you see my email?
Oh.
I'm sorry, Tim, but you're the only way I keep my sanity. So let's just continue walking around.
Peitri, give me a perception check.
That's a solid.
What?
It's a +3. It's a 6, so not noticeable.
All right. That massive black raven that was following you at the beginning when you first entered this forest with the red eyes suddenly appears right in front of you, flying towards your face, getting ready to rake your eyes out. How does Peitri respond?
I duck cover.
You duck and cover?
Yep, I like pretty much hit the deck and cover my face.
So, as you hide and protect yourself, suddenly scared of the bird, you suddenly notice that there's a new weight on your back.
I try and trying to shake it off, I guess.
The scabbard falls to the ground, and you can see that it's now full.
Oh. So I like look out of like my little hiding place. I'm like looking around, and do I see the bird or anything?
You see it caw and fly off.
Right.
You
all
think
right,
you think it's not a caw. You think that you might hear it yell, instead yell coward.
surprise me. I stand up and brush myself off and look around and say, "You guys just see that giant black bird?"
Yes. You so bravely deflected, or you so bravely dove.
Oh. I thought it was going to attack my eyeballs. I know crows like eyeballs. So I've got a sword now, I think, in the scabbard. Let me check. I like fiddle around and I pull it out.
So as you pull it out, you feel a very strange, powerful resonance flow down your arm from the sword into your body. It really begins to give you a sense of confidence that you haven't known before.
Next level.
And as you kind of test the sword out, as you kind of slash it through the air, it almost leaves a trail of electricity as it slices through the molecules of the air, splitting the atoms from their electrons.
Is this the tool, Geirald?
Do I recognize it?
Nobody has seen the sword, but based on how it seems in Peitri's hands, and especially the way it cuts the air, it seems to be the sword that you're seeking.
Oh. It's the tool. This is it. Great. I always knew you could do it.
And Ra-m-loK, is this where we intended to go?
Sorry, wasn't paying attention.
There was a bird, Ra-m-loK.
There's lots of birds.
Yeah,
It's a
this
forest.
is a big bird. It's a big bird. He's probably from Sesame Street or something. They gave me a sword.
The bird gave you a sword.
Yeah. Believe me? Did you see the bird just then?
No, I did not see any bird.
Okay.
So Tim is kind of like, all right. So you found the warlock. You got the sword. You guys still need me?
Yes, Tim. We may need you for further endeavors.
Yeah. I mean, he's a pretty meaty chap. In case we fall on some hard times, we could use some food.
You wouldn't have any coconuts by any chance that you can bash together as we walk around?
Well, I just happen to have 2 coconuts right here.
Click, click, click.
I found them laying on the ground.
Of course you did.
There was a string tied to it and the body of a dead swallow.
Well, how else would the coconut get into a land full of snow?
It was a migratory swallow.
Probably one of those African ones. All right. So
this
Tim,
Geirald, oh, sorry, you go.
no, go ahead.
So at this point, well, Geirald, we should face the king, right? We have the tool. This is all we needed.
Yes. We should return and face. We should go to the palace, and we can take back and restore the land to the peace and the quiet that it used to be.
All right. And Ra-m-loK, you know where the castle is, right?
What castle?
Where the king lives.
No, never seen it. I don't know where the garden is either. Or his fruits and vegetables. I've never seen them. Are we going to see the king?
Yes, Ra-m-loK.
I've brought my grievances. All of them.
Yeah, we may seek audience with...
Good.
Yes.
All right. So fast forward. You guys travel through the forest, following the path that seems to be, you know, the forest itself willing you in the direction that you're meant to go. Until you come into now there is a great deal of fog that starts building up as the snow becomes even more deep and the cold seems to chill you even further down into your bones. But then suddenly, very abruptly, the fog clears and you are outside the doors, the large doors of the king's keep.
And there's a guard stationed there. What do you swill want?
Say that again.
What do you swill want? What are you doing here at the gates?
What's a swill?
Swill, swine, garbage, refuse. Now again, what do you want?
We seek audience with the king.
Wait, who's that with you? Geirald.
Yes, I'm Geirald.
Oh no. Not again. The king will have nothing to do with you. He's seen you too many times already. Leave your grievance, and I'll take it to him later.
I don't believe you. You can't just leave your citizens out like this.
Oh, God. Again. Oh. You
Well,
know,
I'll tell the king of your incompetence.
you really are a pain on the king. You're lucky he's kind and honorable, unlike you.
Well,
I'll take it you won't leave until I let you in.
A matter of opinion.
I take it you won't leave until I let you in.
I'll be back again and again and again and again and again and again.
Look, I don't know your warlock friend or you, stranger, but you've fallen in with the wrong crowd. But go on in. He's no harm. He's just annoying. And the guard opens the door for you. And I'll let the DM take it from here.
All right, so you enter into the castle courtyard. There's a great deal of activity going on as you see various workers gathering grain to store into the granary in preparation for what seems to be winter, which is fully underway. You also see a couple of blacksmiths working diligently at their station. Various others going to and fro with whatever business it is that they may have. Of course, Geirald, being a frequent flyer here, knows the way quite well. And it quickly leads you all to the king's, the hall of the king, where he takes, where he sits and takes the grievances and issues of his subjects into consideration, and as well as hearing out the various crimes and complaints while dealing out justice as he sees fit, which typically is fair and by the letter of the law, regardless of his own personal feelings. And because of the way that he doles out his justice, you can see that there is a sense of love and admiration for this man and the way that he runs his kingdom. In the conversations that you overhear as you pass by, many of them are calling upon the king and wishing his name well as he makes sure that everybody is cared for in these preparations for winter.
In king. Or an unjust king in any case.
I can't hear you. What'd you say?
Oh, sorry. I said, that king does not seem unjust or bad in any sort.
You don't know him personally. I would challenge you to look upon someone who stole your wife and kingdom fondly, and then have everyone tell you that, hey, that guy's okay. He's an asshole.
Ra-m-loK, you have a lot of grievances by the looks of it. We should go seek audience.
We should.
Brendan, email coming your way.
And is our guard friend following us around?
No.
Uh,
There's plenty of guards inside the castle.
right. Do they all sound the same?
Are they all clones?
They all go, oi, oi, is that Geirald? Oi, oi, is that Geirald? Oi, oh, that fucker, oi.
Oh, the cockney brat bastards, they all of them.
I was born in the darkness.
All right, sent.
Oh, yeah.
Really like this rhyme.
Oh. Right. So I walk up towards the king, and I look at him and I say, "Your subjects, they don't seem normal."
The king, as you approach the king, the guards lower their halberds and block your advance. And then you speak your words, and the king looks at you, puzzled, and then waves them off. It's fine, he may approach. Why do you say that?
I sense some sort of magic around here.
The only magic is that of my kindness and my justice.
Bullshit. Sorry.
Friend, do you need a glass of water?
No, sir. Fine.
And then from the king's side, you hear a sigh and says, "Oh, my love, it's Geirald again.
Oh, no.
Seems he's brought some friends this time. It really is becoming tiresome, isn't it?"
Geirald, why must you plague me so?
I don't see
Geirald, take a hint. I've chosen resolved. You are not worthy for my love and affection.
Oh, bit.
Someone,
Sorry.
please, get this man some water.
A guard hurries to a trough and brings you a clean mug full of water.
Well, you know, I don't appreciate the way that you stole my wife and my kingdom from me.
This
I've
again.
told this before, and I'll say it again. It's unjust. This rule of oppression shall not stand.
Geirald, I'm sorry that you're under this delusion, but ever since I've been released from your contract, promise, you've been on this mad crusade. When will it end, friend? I've tried to extend every kindness to you, but you turn me down every time.
List these kindnesses.
I offered you lands. I offered you keeps. I offered you farmhands. Livestock. You could have chosen from many of my concubines to take as a wife. Yet you always refused.
There's only one woman I want. And
She
one
doesn't want you, friend.
I don't take no for an answer.
Clearly.
Plainly obvious to us both. The fact that I even let you come in here repeatedly isn't of itself a kindness.
Oppression takes many forms. Even oppression by kindness. Have you met Peitri? He is the bravest knight I've ever met.
Well, he was very foolhardy to approach me without being summoned. If you want to call that bravery, then sure, we can agree.
Peitri? I don't think I recognize Peitri.
Yes,
Is he one of your subjects?
He looks rather strange.
Yes, I don't seem to recall Peitri being pledged to us.
From where do you hail, Peitri?
I am not from this land, King. And I feel as if Geirald is the rightful king, so I'm sick of talking to you.
Oh no. Geirald has enthralled you under his spell.
You go, you tell him. There can only be one king.
Yes, and his name is Rosalde.
King Geirald. King Geirald.
The knights, my guards tense up and they grip their halberds tighter. And I just put a hand up like, no, it's okay, it's okay.
By the way, how does King Rosalde appear?
Peitri, you may not have noticed until now, but he bears a striking resemblance to Elmorn. He's about Geirald's age, but slightly younger. And despite his old age, you can tell that underneath his kingly armor that he's wearing he's always ready for combat, much like Elmorn would be. And you can tell underneath his armor that he is still muscular and fit.
King, you wouldn't know of a Elmorn perchance.
Elmorn? What kind of name is this? Does he mourn the El?
Lord, sounds like a pasta dish.
You see, not only is my queen smart, but funny as well.
You
Oh,
mean
Rosold, you are too kind.
Kind and just. Wait, that
Indeed.
Ra-m-loK.
I
Ra-m-loK. I will deal with you later, Geirald. Ra-m-loK, you must have some grievances. You're always a welcome face list of grievances.
King, yes. My grievances here.
tell it like it is.
Some of your knights damaged some of the forest, broken tree limbs.
Oop.
Hold on.
Something wrong with the doggy, sounds like.
No. Hope it's okay. It's probably still recovering from his knee surgery.
Mm.
Damn. So meanwhile, you see Tim kind of like trying to hide in the background, not making himself, trying to make himself small to avoid people's gaze.
I have another grievance. Besides you taking my life and my kingdom, this man and his friends tried to eat me.
Who is it that you said tried to eat you?
Tim is like,
This brutish looking fellow here.
Step forward, good man.
Tim steps forward.
Why would you try to eat Geirald?
Me and my brothers were out in the forest. Unlike your subjects here, we did not have the walls to protect us from the elements or your stores of grain to keep us fed.
Hmm.
And so we sought whatever means we needed to survive.
Including eating skins and bones.
Hmm.
Might as well eat leaves and twigs, or twigs.
I'm not proud of it. My brother convinced me it was a good idea.
If what you
He's
say
dead
is
now.
true,
My other brother abandoned me on my deathbed.
if what you say is true, this is a terrible crime. Cannibalism is strictly forbidden for obvious reasons. But none of my subjects should go hungry to the point where they are forced to such vile means. So, you shall serve 180 days penitence, after which you will be rewarded with grain, enough to feed you for at least 3 months, after which you will be required to take up a noble trade and provide for yourself.
So Tim drops to a knee and says, "Thank you, sir. Thank you, Lord. Your grace."
Gods,
You are...
fetch this man some fresh workers' clothes, set him to the blacksmiths, have him start working the forge.
Brennan, email coming up.
Now, Ra-m-loK, you talked of broken trees. You shall be compensated for whatever they broke that was your property.
Well, it's difficult to compensate the spirit of the firth with gold.
I
Sorry,
do not
I was-
argue that, my friend.
I was distracted. There were 2 raccoons fighting. I had to separate them.
Your services are ever appreciated.
I seem to have lost the rest of my grievances. I will look for them. They're just
Very well,
strange.
take your time, my friend. As you do. Geirald, what exactly is it that you want? Why are you here? Why have you brought this Peitri here?
Just kind of nudge Peitri. Go on. There's now or never.
Meanwhile, several of the guards of the King's Watch come and take Tim, one on either side of him, and lead him to where he will do his penance.
Well, Tim. King, in my lands, if you are challenged to a one battle, you must, and you lose, you must relinquish your kingdom. And I fight for Geirald.
My queen, is this a law in our land as well?
O King, as you well know, the law is your word. If you wish it so, then it is. Say just go along with it and be done with it. Knock this beggar and his boy toy down.
Watch who you're talking to. You don't talk to your future husband that way.
Oh, God. Please, my lord, deal with them quickly. The sight and the stench are too much to bear.
Very well, Peitri. You shall have your duel. But if you lose, you shall serve under me for the rest of your days.
I do not really like it much here in Thelanis, and know of a way out of here.
Way out? This is the only land I've ever known.
There must be some sort of portal or some sort of way to leave this place.
Geirald, not only have you brought a stranger, but a crazy madman.
Hold on, my king. Excuse me. Peitri, I think that's what you called yourself. Where is it that you claim to hail from?
I am from Eberron.
Eberron.
Do you know something, my queen?
Oh, he is a traveler. He is for sure not from this land. It makes sense now that you think of it. Of course, only somebody unfamiliar would Geirald try to take advantage of in this way.
I do no such thing.
Yes, Geirald seems like the rightful king.
Yes, King Geirald. King Geirald.
King Geirald.
Yes.
Oh, Resolved, please deal with them and get them out of my sight. I can't bear it much longer.
Very well. A kiss for good luck.
Oh, of course. Smoochies.
Smoochies. The king rises, and one of the guards runs up to him with this gilded halberd, and he takes it in his mailed fists. And then another guard runs up with like this. He takes off the crown from the king and puts like this gilded helmet on the king.
Oh.
And it's just like full plate mail, and he's ready to fight you. He steps down these marbled steps that you are at the base of. Well, are you ready to fight?
You shall be struck down, King.
Kick his ass, Peitri!
Not so
Yes, for King
fast.
Geirald.
As it is tradition in our land, the fight will begin with the sound of my wife screaming 3 times.
Strange tradition you've begun, my
I
lord.
did not begin it. It was always this way. You forget yourself.
Be that as it may.
Begin!
Oh, I love that scream. I'm so excited.
All right, so are we fighting now?
Yeah, roll initiative.
All right.
18.
12.
Right. Peitri draws his epic sword and does a little spin with it. Shows that it's cutting lightning and it's splitting the air and it looks really cool. And is at the king and attempts to strike him. But he rolls a 1. So he dies.
Roll to confirm the critical. Also, keep in mind you get this sword is magic +2.
Yeah, I got an 18.
Okay, so Elmore net would hit you, right?
Yeah.
All right, so no critical, but you do miss.
Okay. Was all my actions because I used my charger at him. So I stand in front of the king, and then my turn.
All right, so when you started doing your like twirly flary thing with your lightning, and then you like slash at me, I look very wary as I like dodge out of the way because I've never seen a weapon like this. And then then the king says, "What kind of trickery is this? Geirald give you some fancy new weapon, huh?"
No, the raven did.
Raven? It matters not. You shall not break through my impenetrable armor. And then all of a sudden, you see the king like hunker down like this, and this white ethereal armor goes over the rest of his armor, and it looks kind of like this. If I could find it. Where did I put it? Yeah. Damn it. Wait. He gets egg-like armor all over his body, complete with yoke on the top of his head. You shall not penetrate my armor. And that's his turn.
You hear your queen say, "Sploosh."
Does it seem like he can attack anyone in this shell form?
It's just like went over his armor. Like he's still mobile.
Okay, right. Okay. So I go to strike him with the sword again. Hopefully this time. 22.
All right.
And that was with the plus. So it's a +2 sword, is it? You said.
Yeah.
So, 10 points of damage.
All right.
So there's an additional feature.
Okay.
Elmorn, you noticed this right away. Or
Alright.
not Elmorn, Rosald. So I'm going to email you. Peitri, Peitri, to you, it looks like the sword deals a lot more damage than you would expect it to.
Right. I look back at Geirald and I'm just confused.
Yes. You're doing a great job. King Geirald! King Geirald!
Geirald, that's right.
I'm proud of you. You're so brave.
All right. So, King Rosald, looks visibly distressed as the sword pierces his impenetrable egg armor and also slashes through his plate mail. And you see blood dripping from where you hit him. And he states, "Oh, gods! Looks like I must not underestimate you and that shiny sword of yours." And then he, with a flourish, he swings at you with the gilded halberd. Wow. Oh. He rolled a 10, so he missed.
How many pluses does the gilded helmet have?
None. But he has extra attack, so he's going to attack again.
Oh.
16.
Still miss, man. Yeah.
Well, you're able to dodge him twice.
But in that case, I say fair game, and I let you hit me.
What? Why?
I want to see what happens.
Okay. Do you hear that, DM?
So the lady of the manor says, Rosald, be careful. He is a simpleton, clearly.
All right. So, you take 7 damage.
No special magics happen.
No.
No super smites.
The king, when he hits you, he looks confused, especially since you let him hit you. And he says, "You mustn't fight with no honor. There is no victory to be had in it."
I must give this old man a chance. I do not want to just slaughter him. King Geirald! And then I attack King Rosald again. Is 14.
Miss.
Ooh. But then a spiritual weapon appears behind the king, attempts to attack him, and that is a 22.
That's it?
Alright, let's get that D8 crack lacking.
You also have action points too, Peitri. Resolved, you do not.
Okay. I have I hit a. Do I add my thingy? Just double check that. Spiritual weapon. Plus 5. So I did 7 plus 5. 12. 12 points of force damage.
That's from the spiritual weapon?
Then yeah.
Okay. Ooh. No problem, dude.
It's rough.
All right. So Fazad's able to dodge the magical lightning sword and gets hit from the back by the spiritual weapon, causing him to visibly oof. And his breath gets a little bit more ragged. You test my patience, boy. I'll show you why I became the king. And then he raises his halberd in the air, and a bolt of lightning strikes his halberd as he casts Thunderous Smite.
Ooh.
And he swings at you with his weapon. I rolled a natural 20.
Okay, roll to confirm.
Okay, the second one was a 9, so we're fine.
Okay. So just double max damage.
Is Peitri gonna be alive after this?
He left in vitality.
All right, so is that plus? Is it double max and then plus my modifier, or double my modifier as well?
Double your modifier as well. It's whatever your maximum damage would be, and then doubled.
26, but then so Thunderous Smite, is that, do I need to roll for that? Does that get doubled too?
That would be doubled too.
Oh Jesus! Well, you're dead, Peitri. 26 plus 12.
38.
So yeah, 38.
I'm on 0. But we have vitality points.
Right, and also since you have action points, you can use action points to heal yourself.
Or make me re-roll, right?
I could have, but
I'm basically an enemy, right? You can make me re-roll.
Yeah.
It's too late. 30 points.
Or you can also take an action point to use an extra action, which you can use to cast a heal spell, since you're a life cleric and you're good at those.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna use one of my actions.
Well, first of all, you need to make a strength check, or you get pushed 10 feet away and you're knocked prone.
I got nat 20.
Well, there you go. So not only are you not knocked away, you're still standing and everything. I don't even know what else happens. DM?
So yeah, the Thunderous Smite is super effective. It nearly blows Peitri's armor off of his body, but somehow he manages, through force of will and perhaps a little bit of influence from this sword, is able to maintain his ground and press on despite his wounds.
Impossible! The king shouts. How are you still standing?
I am the hero.
Okay.
Here's the hero. Here's the hero. Did you hear him?
Nobody cheers along with him.
King Geirald! King Geirald! All praise the hero!
She goes, King Geirald. And then he casts a healing spell on himself.
All right.
He's gonna use heal wounds. That's 13 health healed. I'll live through one more smite. I then use my action point to attack. Yeah, to attack with my sword. Super effective. Give it a crack. And I rolled a 17.
That's with your +2?
Yeah, that was with the +2, yeah.
Well, I have 18 armor class. That's also
Wait,
enough.
you rolled a 17 total? Or you rolled a 17?
No, I rolled a 12. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
okay.
Yeah. So just short.
Just short.
Okay. But if have this burning, I guess
So as you make your attack, there's suddenly the king is blinded and has a racking pain going through his mind, and it stiffens his body, which actually gives Peitri an opening to use advantage on that last attack.
But don't worry, I'll miss you. So I only rolled a 9 that time.
And then also, let's see where else is it?
Well, there's more advantages, yes.
No. You missed your opportunity.
Now the king's like, you would attack a paralyzed man? You have no honor.
Give you a free shot, didn't I, old man?
By your own choice.
Yes.
So Rosald, you are unable to see. There's like a darkness in front of your eyes.
I
and
felt
you
the
don't
whoosh
know.
of the blade.
And then you also take 3 psychic damage.
All right. What trickery is this? I cannot see. In my mind. Ugh, all is a blur. Let's see. Damn. Everything I have requires sight. All right, well, I take a wild swing in front of me.
All right. Roll with disadvantage.
Uh, 16. That's a miss. I missed.
So Rosald, you can hear, "Dear, are you okay?"
And my only answer is, ah! And the yoke from my egg armor on my head is like sliding off. And I just look like a horrible mess now.
Come on,
Blood.
Rosald, you can do it.
Eggshells and yolk everywhere.
All
You
right,
take another 1
Rosald.
psychic damage.
All right.
I shall give you mercy, sir, if you give up your kingdom.
Never! Not to the likes of Geirald.
I can think of no better king than King Geirald. He is a wise, just ruler.
Can't you see you are his thrall?
I do this for King Geirald, and I cast Spirit Guardians. And all these like things around me, and like 15 feet area, and they just start coming. You have to make a Wisdom saving throw.
All right. I got a 10.
That's a fail.
All right.
And all the face spirits like start circling around you and blasting you with divine magic. Each of these. Oh, 20. 20 points of divine damage.
Ouch.
Radiant, sorry. Every round, it's just going to keep on smacking you with that, but I have to concentrate during it, so.
All right, so a blast of energy just radiated out from Peitri, washing over the king and causing his skin to start to bubble within his armor. King, how are you responding?
Ah! The king is just writhing in pain. He doesn't even do anything. And all of his subjects look on horrified.
My king, should we intervene?
No! This is a duel between honorable men. Well, at least one of us is honorable.
So Rizald doesn't know this since he can't see, but suddenly, without any warning, everything seems to grow smaller around Peitri. Everything seems to appear smaller to him. And to Geirald and Ra-m-loK? What is it? Ra-m-loK. It appears like Peitri is growing to large size.
Oh, you ate your Wheaties this morning. King Geirald, take him out.
And
Don't worry, my love, I'll be with you soon.
Oh, God. Rizald, you must succeed. Overcome, my love, overcome.
Must overcome.
Not before I do.
there will be.
All right, so Peitri, what are you doing now?
And I say, there will be no more smoochies for you, King. And I strike you with my now smaller sword because I'm getting really big.
Well, the sword grows in size with you.
Oh, well, this giant sword is just going to destroy you, hopefully. Alright, so I'm rolling for this. And it didn't go according to plan. Because I rolled another nat 1.
Yeah, but you have advantage.
Oh, so let's hope I don't roll another one. Nah, I got a what's that, +2, so 23.
Much better.
And I'll roll damage, but pretty sure.
And you get an extra D4 to your damage
Oh yeah.
for being enlarged.
So D4, D8. 12 points from the sword.
How much?
12.
Hmm. Well,
No, email.
all right. The king looks nearly dead at this point. He's
And then
not even standing. He's on his knees. He's screaming out in pain. He's clawing at his face like ah, and he's coating his hands to his head. Ah!
alright. And then
Speaking of which, another 6 psychic damage.
And he's barely hanging on to life.
Peitri's very frustrated at this. Oh, sorry. I'm in the middle of something, yeah. Sorry, all good. So yeah, give me a whiz save again, I guess.
Aha, 20.
Nice. Well, you take half of this. And the face spirits which were circling you have now turned into fiends. They're getting all necrotic. So 19 divided by 2. Down.
It'd be 8.
16. It was 19.
All right, so Rosald is dying, and with his dying words, he ekes out, Geirald, why?
And then the fiend rips it off. And blood splatters everywhere.
King Geirald! King Geirald! 3. Hero!
So, you guys all watch Game of Thrones, right? Except for Peter.
Yeah,
Yep.
You remember when Oberron died?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the queen right now.
Oh. Really?
And also, as the king passes on to another life, Peitri, you notice something strange. You suddenly feel a pain across your chest. And you notice that you're bleeding beneath your armor. But before you have a chance to check it, the queen rises up, the air swirling around her, and says, "You have killed the king. You have broken our ways. You have disrupted the roles that we have come to know. You have done irreparable harm to the realm, and you have no idea what you have wrought because of this fiend, Geirald. I know of this Eberron, and I have seen into your mind. You will pay for what you have done. Oh, I am going to send you back, but I'm going to make sure that it is not the welcome homecoming that you are expecting, but rather a hellish existence from which you wish you will have perished before you have gotten there. Now go! And then she like releases this energy that swirls around you, that causes an extreme numbness to course through your body, and then suddenly the world goes dark and you wake up in the field where you initially disappeared.
Let me see. King Geirald. And I look around, I'm like, oh, there better not be any more of them sharks out here.
In the distance, you do see one, not too far away from the handsome mansion. Doesn't really take notice of you, though.
I start hobbling towards the handsome mansion, trying to hold my body together. I'm guessing I've got no armor now. Like, the armor's just shattered and everywhere.
No, your armor's fine.
Is it? Okay, cool. So yeah, I just start hobbling, holding my broken body towards the mansion. Josh, do anything?
Do we sense him coming?
Each of you guys give me a perception check.
It's like a 8.
10.
Because we have like a magical perimeter, so like I don't know if he breached the magical perimeter yet.
You have a magical perimeter? I don't remember that.
Yeah, I thought we had like kind of a some kind of like magic security type deal.
He hasn't breached that yet. That's closer to the gates.
Oh, okay.
But also, Anu, we didn't hear you because you're muted.
Sorry, 18.
Okay. So, Anu, you happen to be passing by a window when you see Peitri out in the distance.
Hey, guys. He's back.
Who's back?
Our old friend.
Peitri? Is Peitri really out there?
I feel
Oh.
we should go meet him outside.
Yes. We should probably bring him some food. Or some water. Something.
Maybe some first aid. He looks a little bloody.
Seems to be like sneaking at this point. He doesn't notice you guys, and he's just sneaking up on the bull shark thing, and he's just like, "I'm gonna get you."
Oh my gosh.
Martha's gonna collect a water skin. Yeah, just could collect the water skins for Peitri.
All right, so Peitri, you have this wound across your chest that is bleeding. You have this sword that you're holding that resonates power through your body. Also, it's not made of a normal material. I forgot to mention that. It doesn't look like it's actually made of steel, but rather obsidian. It's slightly transparent, or translucent rather. And it is probably the sharpest, hardest blade that you've ever seen in your life.
Then it's Peitri starts charging at the bullet and yelling, "King Geirald!"
Jesus Christ. So you're charging the bullet. It turns around and sees you. Colmar, it's your pet. How does it react?
It runs away.
Peitri chases it. He's just gonna run around the yard with it.
All right. If it's running away, I mentioned eventually it'll go underground, and you can't follow it underground.
Then I just give up. I just walk away from it. The front door.
All right. So you go into the gates. The rest of your comrades, hearing that you're coming, they greet you either at the door or outside in the front yard. You guys want to do this now, or do you want to pick up next time?
Pick up next time, I think.
Pick up. It's done.
Okay.
Yeah, over there, isn't it?
I feel like we covered quite a bit of ground.
Yeah. So Anno, you said next week you're not going to be available?
Yep, next week's my 2-year anniversary.
Okay. Do you guys want to move forward, or do you want to try out that random game, like with the random character generator, and do like a mission with new characters just before the day of mourning?
I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Okay. And then Brennan, send you an email to explain a little bit of all of what happened.
Great. I was so confused.
I know this was a bit experimental. What did you guys think about it?
I was so wigged out, but it was fun.
That was cool, but I didn't get to do anything until the last hour. So it was kind of boring for me, honestly, until then.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
like,
I was
Trying to
I
run
was
person.
sorry.
what were you going to say? No, I mean,
I was genuinely worried about that, and I didn't know how to deal with that. And actually, now thinking about it, I could have been like, "All right, you can run Tim." That's what I should have done, probably.
yeah, it's okay. I mean, like it was really fun when I finally. I mean, it was fun listening too, but it would have been more fun if I would have been able to participate more.
Yeah.
It was still. It was good. I mean, it was a cool experiment, and I thought it was fun.
Yeah. So the thing about Thelanis is that it's the realm of stories, and so it's like rather than because you guys are on Eberron, you're all mortals, you have free will and everything. While the creatures of Thelanis have some extent of free will, they play roles because they are living out. They're almost like living stories, in a sense, living fairy tales. So that's kind of what I was hoping to kind of demonstrate a little bit. And Peitri, being from Eberron, kind of fucked all that up.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it came across well, and I thought we all played our parts pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
I appreciate you guys indulging me in this little experiment.
I'm just glad that King Geirald won out.
Fucking
Yeah, I'm excited to see how that change in Thelanis might have ripple effects into Eberron. That would be interesting. I'll have to ponder that.
We know you will.
King Geirald. King Geirald.
So Peitri wasn't there. Geirald is supposed to win.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Geirald always wins against Geirald.
You bastard, Peitri.
Oh, my bad. It's alright, your wife will save the day.
As the queen was yelling at you, you heard the guards yell, "Fucker! You fucker! He killed the king! This fucker!"
I couldn't type fast enough. I was going to cast invisibility on you right at the end, but I didn't type fast enough.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you all. Appreciate you playing.
All right.
See you next week. Ano, happy anniversary.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary, man.
All right, you guys have a good night.
All right.
But
Later, guys.
good stuff.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I appreciate the effort. I thought it was interesting. I was playing kind of playing like an archetypal type, like playing an asshole.
Mhm.
My character isn't an asshole. I don't roll any assholes really, so
You did a good job. I thought you did a good job of kind of playing up the manipulation a little bit, and then you had a little bit of help too because that sword is sentient.
oh, is it?
Yeah, so I was emailing Brendan some things that it was kind of whispering or convincing him of.
To fight for King Geirald? I mean, do you really even need convincing for that?
It wasn't so much to fight for King Geirald, but to convince him that King Resolved needed killing. Because the sword thrives on killing. So, interesting effect of that sword, because it's called the Final Blade, and it does a lot more damage than normal swords, and it actually was hitting Elmorn in his vitality points immediately. Or not Elmorn, Resolved. But the thing is, if anyone is killed while that sword is, like if somebody wields that sword and kills another, then it not only takes that person's soul and destroys it so that they cannot be resurrected by any means, but also it leaves a wound that cannot be healed. And after enough times of you killing people while wielding that sword, it'll also kill you.
Interesting. So you save it for bosses only?
If you can convince the sword not to want to be used before that.
Gotcha. So is our next journey to like a volcano or something to throw a sword in the volcano?
Maybe. There's a couple of things that happen as a result of all of that. I have some surprises in store.
Save you. All right, I'm gonna retire. Have a good night, guys.
All right.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.
Good night, y'all.
All right.